G'day guys, welcome to this week's weekly developer update. I'm CW, and as you can see, I'm running solo today. Joe's just a little bit caught up this week, so I'll be bringing you the weekly developer update. So we might just kick things off today with the results of the ErgoHack community vote. So that was a crowd-funded vote. The community came up with 1,000 ERG to be able to distribute to their favorite ErgoHack participants. And the results are in. Coming in first place, we have Ergo Tizen. Second place is Lithos, and third place, Explorer UI. So if you want to see the full results, there's a link there. You can jump onto the Ergo Twitter also, to my personal Twitter account. There's a link to the results of that poll for anyone wanting to seek any further information. If you want to explore the projects themselves a little bit further, jump onto the Ergo platform YouTube account and look for the ErgoHack 6 playlist for the summit. There's some great content out there, some really well compiled videos, so encourage everyone to jump on there and check them out. So congratulations to everyone. The results for the hack as a whole, we're just waiting on one judge's results to come in, and then we can reconcile, put some articles and get some graphics together, and hopefully have that announced very shortly. So thanks everyone for bearing with us on that front. Let's jump into this week's developer update. So kicking things off, we have Bitmasks. There's a lot going on this front. So the recent month was an experiment how far they can go with the FleetSDK. The results is 100%. So they launched a simple breeding project called Inferno Black. There's a couple of links there for the website, the server, and the breed utils. If you want to check that out, follow those links. They've also implemented a proof of concept feature or features, so they can watch the meme pool for incoming breed transactions. They can calculate the creature traits from apparent genes, also compose images on the fly from multiple layers, upload images to IPFS, so free unlimited NFT storage, and they can chain mint transactions, also breed a new creature in around 8 to 15 seconds. So that's pretty cool. I've actually got one of those Inferno Blacks, so I'll have to start breeding. So they've also, on the website front, they've written it in SvelteKit that assembles breeding transactions with the FleetSDK, also displays a live mint and breeding event. On the server side, they've written that in Alexa, utilizes the FleetSDK scripts for encoding and decoding Ergo domain stuff, and talks to local Ergo nodes. It also pushes events to the web UI for, via WebSocket. And then finally, onto the breed utils. Transaction breeding, the encoding and decoding is also completed with the FleetSDK. The image composition with image magic and IPFS uploaded with the NFT.storage feature. Next up, we have Morphic. And then on the Sigma front, Sigma version 5.0.6 has been released. Also prepared the next PR for review, and it will remove usages of Java reflection, the key PR towards Scala.js support, and also potential performance improvements of the Ergo tree execution. Then on to AppKit, version 5.0.1 has been released with support of Scala 2.13 and the new features. So now AppKit can be used in Scala 3 projects. Also implemented multisig address, discussed with MrStahlfelge about multisig support in the mobile wallet, and starting writing a new EIP for it. Then next up we have Ergo. So reviewed Ergo release candidate version 5.0.8, and next up just preparing the next Sigma PR for review and finishing the EIP draft for the multisig signing in the mobile wallet. So following Morphic, we have greenhat, and they've successfully tested the voting in the Erg Gold testnet pool for the Oracle V2 service and Dexy Gold. So there's a big issue with the node wallet rescan, which caused a significant pool downtime. Made an issue 1967 with a detailed report and a few ideas on how to mitigate it. And besides that, exposed pool status data via the REST API. Fixed minor issues discovered during the testing of the governance in the Gold Erg pool on the testnet, and work in progress on minimizing the need for wallet rescans. And next up, testing the new governance, so simplified voting in the Gold Erg pool on testnet. And next up we have Kushti. So on the node and protocol development fronts, finalized the 5.0.5 node candidate. Just polishing the UTXO with snapshot bootstrapping PR. So you can see that pool 1444, so measuring performance of taking a snapshot after optimizations. Also thinking on the pool 1958, it seems Fanta still needs to, for two structures for efficient access and sorting, just maybe a little bit leaner. Then on to Dexy. The buyback from the LP script, which is able to receive Erg, buy tokens on the LP pool with them, send the tokens to a script. Would be useful for buying back Gold Oracle reward tokens with a part of Dexy bank fees. Made tests for buying tokens from the LP, sending them back to the Oracle pool. Modified free mint scenario in the bank script and made a test for it. And the Gold Oracle state's now showing up on the testnet explorer. So there's a link there to check that out. Or you can jump onto Alex's Twitter account. He's posted that also up there. Next up, a little update here from Cheese Enthusiast on the SigmaFi front, working on loan offers and making an NFT loan contracts. Also on to Lithos, continued development improvements to the collateralized contracts after the hackathon. If you want to check out the SigmaFi.app website, you can jump on there. There's actually been a few NFT loans, people collateralizing loans with NFTs and things like that. So I think that's pretty interesting and providing a little bit more utility and functionality in the DeFi space here on Ergo. Okay, next we have MHS and Rosen Bridge. So the public test, so now collecting addresses of the Ergonauts. Test tokens will be sent and they'll start the Ergonauts only public test this week, which has occurred. And next week tokens will be distributed to the public by the faucet, I believe. On the Rosen Bridge scanner front, worked on fixing a typeform error causing the Ogmios scanner to get stuck at a random height. They have observed that Typeform doesn't support parallel transactions for SQLite, and the monkey patched their own version of Typeform. On Rosen chains, the Ergo chains completely implemented according to the abstract classes. Implementing unit tests are almost complete. More update and improvements to the abstract classes and working on unifying the Cardano transactions received from different data sources. Then the Rosen Bridge minimum fee. There's another configuration added to the minimum fee configuration box. So it's representing a fee ratio per transferring asset. So the guard services has yet to be updated for that configuration. And then finally on the Rosen API, added observation and event scanner to the project with the support of the PostGR SQL. Also created transaction view and the corresponding API to fetch the Rosen transactions with the various filtering parameters. Also refactored some tests done to the RIP 001 proposal. Following Rosen Bridge, we have Luivatra and the Paideia MVP. So finished the alpha versions of the contracts. Been working on preparing the setup surrounding the AVL trees to be able to handle the meme pool and multiple bot operators potentially pushing conflicting transactions. Ran into an issue that took some time to figure out. So when copying an empty AVL tree, the root node was marked as new, causing it to be included in the generated proof. Also refactored the staking code to the blockchain to be blockchain centered instead of off-chain centered, mostly to deal with the multiple bot operator situation. Expected to begin alpha testing beginning this week, and finally the beta version will start locking contract versions into compiled Ergo tree instead of just using Ergo script to avoid potential issues arising with future Ergo script compilers. Nice update there, Louis. Looks like next we have Krasavice Blasen and the duckpools development update. So since the IDO, they've predominantly been focusing on administrative tasks, causing development to slow down. Looks like those tasks are now complete and development set to accelerate in the coming weeks. So a summary of the recent development progress: the off-chain bot code refactoring. The majority of refactoring of the off-chain bot codes now complete, resulting in faster task execution and improved logging. Also updated the interest rate function bug fix. So they found a bug in the update interest rate function that affected the interest history progression, which they've now fixed up. It's good to hear. Next, we have a little update from Captain Nemo. On the SigmaFi front, they've added the NFT background for requests with NFT as collateral, working on efficient ways to fetch the minting address for multiple tokens. And FleetSDK released version 0.0.1 alpha 22 with new passes and performance optimizations. Next, we have a non-BR. So wrote an ERP on arbitrary data signing, which will help on the hardware wallet implementations. It's encouraging all the community developers and all the core developers to take a look at it and provide some feedback. Okay, next we have Emporas update. So the new front end is already almost complete. I think that's out currently. I'll have to check that. Saw some tweets and some noise on that one. I'll have to have a look. So the new categories and products have been added. So drones, mini PC, gadgets, and more. Also, you'll have a faster experience, and now has multi-vendor support only for the US at this stage. So they'll drop a registration link in the socials and the Ergo channels. Vendors will have the option to get paid in fiat, but also in Erg. And the Comet update. And they will continue proudly to do nothing more than memes. You've done a lot more than that, guys. Next up, Analog Ergo. So working on desktop, the GUI, the application client to facilitate atomic swaps via the, LGAML encrypted messaging channels. Research to protect against key cancellation and other attacks in the Schnorr setup. Also starting to define security standards for the protocol, such as chain-specific ECC point boundaries and also the pre-image nonce generation. Lots going on there. It's nice to see. Next, we have MrStahlfelge. So work on the wallet app. So creating a multisig address UI is completed. And with the latest AppKit multisig PR snapshot, it works well. And then just currently working on UI for signing multisig transactions. That'll be a welcome addition to the Ergo wallet. Okay, following Mr. S, we have LowKeyNerd and the BlitzTCG update. So released a developer update that shows the first dev preview style look at the matchmaking. So all major technical hurdles necessary to launch an online multiplayer game integrated with various blockchains has been cleared. 90% of the 170 card artwork needed for a full launch have been completed as well. And the dev update video and some recent artwork. So thanks to CyberMargo, including CyberMargo and the Tinkerer set. You can see that down below. The video's just here. You can click on that and check that out. And there's Cyber Margo. I'll also be at CNFTCon again this year, so get some tickets and go and check them out in Vegas. Next we have a non-real, so pretty significant update this week. They've fixed the auction type in the filters when exploring active auctions. Fixed a bug in the SQL query to database to search for specific traits of artworks of the collection. Fixed search API, which was returning wrong results in a few specific situations. Also double-checked sorting for auction exploring. So, for example, looking for hot auctions ending soon, etc., to make sure that they're working properly. More tests on the Ergo network scanning processes, i.e. scanning new artworks and auctions, looking for scanning bids, etc. Also fixed a bug when setting a username, sending empty credentials to the API. Ergo nodes and blockchain APIs sometimes do not work as expected, so they're still relying on the Explorer in those cases. Also fixed a bug regarding that. Fixed UI issues regarding the auction creation, added batching, a batch scanning for the artworks instead of retrieving information of a few hundred artworks at the same time. They do it in smaller batches to make sure that they do not run into memory or network issues. Added loaders in the few more places in the UI. The auction filtering API is now capable of accepting multiple collections to filter auctions for artworks in those collections. Also fixed API, which is responsible for returning collections with currently active auctions in them. Fixed a problem which was causing the backend not to scan transactions for ending auctions. There's smoother scrolling for activities by only keeping a few hundred activities in the browser memory and removing the rest. And some minor UI fixes. Added the currency name, Erg or SigUSD, to a few remaining places for clarity. The collection logos are now shown in the notification center. Fixed auto reload for activities page. The thumbnails URL was incorrect for some artworks, which has been fixed. Then there's some notifications related to bidding that's had wrong tiles, which has been fixed up. And finally, the wallet model was not working properly in the artworks pages, which has also been fixed. Lots going on in the auction house this week. A nice little comment here from Captain Nemo in regards to Bitmasks. It's great to see that the FleetSDK is being actively used in new projects. Also adding some new features like serializers and passes on a when needed pace for now. So don't hesitate to ask them if you need something added or you have a request feature set that you eventually need, or suggest an API design improvements. By all means, reach out to Captain Nemo and suggest those. And finally, nice little, we'll end this week's developer update on a nice comment here from Glasgow and the ecosystem developer statistics. So in the past week, we've seen 28 active repos, 122 commits, and 22 active devs. Over the past month, we've seen 74 active repos, 621 commits, and 46 active devs. And over the past year, 379 active repos, 6,653 commits, and 184 active devs. It's important to note that the commits can be somewhat of a funny metric in some respects, because on one hand, you could have someone going through and creating documentation and saving every letter, every word, every full stop, for instance. Or you can just have large blocks of text, chunks of code, etc., copy-pasted from different repo or whatever scenario, and that's just treated as one commit also. It's just something to be mindful of on those metrics. All right, guys. Well, that sums up this week's weekly developer update. Once again, congratulations to all who received rewards from the community vote on the ErgoHack 6. And once again, we'll be working pretty quickly, hopefully, now that the last person now is working on the active results for ErgoHack 6. So we'll hope to have those results in shortly. All right, guys, thanks very much and have a good one. Take care.